this series, I'd be very surprised if SAG won because
Yeah,
they've looked,
that's true.
they've made some really poor team errors, but I think they've also made some really poor individual mistakes.
Mhm.
And they lose 2-0 to RNG, they lose 2-0 to LGD. Oh, at least we get to finish off with a nice Vici series to
Yeah,
try and round off the group. So Vici definitely going to be massively heavy favourites for this. If if
yeah,
if SAG win, I'd be so happy to eat my words because I'd love to see some kind of tiebreaker scenario here, and I don't want to see two teams go 0-3. One on either group. That would
yeah.
feel really sad. But because especially considering how we saw last year go, when we had a lot of close games in the group stage to round things off. But
And then it was eHome who ended up going 1-2 and just skirting into the playoffs. And all of a sudden, you just skirt into the playoffs and you find yourself, or no, it was CDC. Sorry, that just skirted in. They went 1-2, and then they won the whole thing and reverse swept Vici in a best of 5 grand final. It was pretty ridiculous. So, can SAG be that team? I guess is the question. First, by the way, first pick Nyx Assassin. Let me just stop everything because we talked about how we're not seeing this hero at all, and all of a sudden he's a first pick for SAG. And then Rubik Bloodseeker.
This is interesting. I mean, the Nyx is obviously really interesting against Bloodseeker because when you carapace, you can reflect the blood right damage back. But first pick Nyx, I mean, I know they like this hero. Who's the... If it's who I think it is, yeah, it's September. So, I mean, they like this Nyx, but is it worthy of being first picked? I don't know. Especially now that they can open Rubik, like, in response to the Nyx. And now you have this, like... really strong hero against the Nyx because you can stun him up without interacting with the carapace because lift doesn't do any damage. And you also have we've seen this already, any steal you get from Nyx Assassin is really strong.
Yeah. Then they go Monkey King. We're seeing a lot of this hero today. It has found its way into all 3 series. Like, that's pretty uncommon, especially due to the fact that I think there are much stronger 1 positions in the game at the moment, and only one of them had been banned in the Faceless Void.
Yeah, I think this Monkey King is definitely a flavor of the month thing, though. Especially in China, it seems like they seem to really like this hero right now.
Yeah.
And I think Mars, especially, is another one that China seems to have always liked more than a lot of other regions too. So, but I like that each region have its distinctive, almost like hero that they're known for more than other regions, which is cool.
And the SAPPHIRE. I'm really hoping to see a much better series out of D-Stones too. To go back to the fact that, and I hate to bring it back up after such a long break, maybe he was hoping we forgot, but buying out on items and then losing the game without buyback is one of those things that are hard to forget.
Let's clarify that he bought out for items that he put in his backpack that were components of Lincoln Sphere that he wasn't even using to not have buyback. So it wasn't even like he bought out for like a BKB or something, which is fine because if you make your mistake but you've bought out for BKB, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But he played a little bit. He played okay in their last series against LGD because he played that. Was it the Void Spirit in game 1 where he had that lane up against the Viper? Do you remember?
Yeah, and then he got trashed in that lane, didn't he?
Well, he played well after the laning stage though. Like he got the first blood on the Viper level 1 and stuff as well. But then afterwards he had that Doom game against LGD as well that he also played okay in. But it felt like it was more team losses rather than individual losses in that second series against LGD. Like they kind of got outdrafted a little bit. They got outplayed massively across the map. But definitely less individual errors last series. So hopefully SAG can gain some confidence from that. Did they take part in the China Cup? I don't think they did they? The Pro Cup.
Who? SAG?
SAG.
I don't believe so.
Let's have a look.
Take a look really quickly.
Oh, they finished bottom of their group. They went 0-4.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was so long ago when the group stage happened. That was like 2 weeks ago at this point.
They didn't even make the play-ins or the playoffs or anything.
Yeah. So them and Magma.
Yeah. The fact that SAG have gone 0-4 in that competition and are now 0-2 in this competition, not looking so hot for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different SAG. I think it's all different SAG, if I believe. Because God King is now with RNG.
So it's
We
Felix.
we just saw DD over on Aster. Red Panda's with 4AM and OP's the coach. So everybody's different on SAG. This is a completely different team. So it's very difficult. D Stones to me, and I know I say this a lot about him. He feels very thin on his hero pool. And there's just times where it's like we've taken out what he's good with. He kind of struggles in the matchups and falls apart from there. But even like you've got good players in Flyby, September, and XCJ. Like these are proven players. D Stones, I think, is still looking to be that, and Jay is looking to even step into that range.
Okay, I want to talk about these second phase picks here because this is pretty cool. So it opens with the Ogre, which we've obviously seen a decent amount of, especially in conjunction with the Monkey King. Obviously, it's the steroid, which is really nice. They then respond with a Clockwork. So Vici are like, okay, well, it's a really good clock game. Like if we catch the Nyx or the Ogre in a hookshot cogs, even the Monkey King as well, we've got a decent chance of killing them off with any +1, right? SAG go with the Batrider. It looks like a really good Batrider game. They don't really deal with it here in laning stage. It's going to be a Clockwork position 5. All of a sudden, Vici go back for this PL. So it does okay against the Batrider in a lane, but it's also now they have this way, they don't have any good illusion clear on SAG. So now they're stuck in this really hard case where they need a hero that deals with PL last in their draft. They need a way of they have no save in their lineup either, which is a big problem up against Clockwork. What I can see happening is this Bloodseeker just ruptures the Batrider every single fight, takes him out, and then the PL just goes rampant because nobody else can deal with him. So you see they instantly ban Lesh on Vici as well. They're going to deal with another hero they're going to ban another hero that deals with PL. And then all of a sudden it feels like a super good PL game for me.
Get rid of the Storm. I don't even know what they want to go for. Could they do the Beast Coast mid Legion Commander for Vici?
They could try. They don't even have last pick either. That's the other bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, they do have last pick because Vici are picking next. Yeah.
We'll see what SAG want to ban here. They get rid of the Kunkka, get rid of that control.
So you're probably looking for some mid-game, tempo fight hero here. Kunkka just gets banned.
Void Spirit feels like the safe pick.
Again, because of the lack of lockdown potentially as well, but Void Spirit can be difficult to play against Nyx Assassin, obviously because of that Carapace proccing on all of his abilities.
Basically, yeah.
Literally every single one.
And they go tiny.
Wow. That hero gets through to last pick.
Yeah, and ends up being a tiny mid this time from what we're seeing potentially. Unless they do something crazy and throw Ori on the Rubik.
So they have PL issues. They have early game damage issues because Ogre Nyx as a support duo, a little bit iffy. Monkey King needs a little bit of time to come online as well. They need some big, mid-game to early game damage dealer right now. Otherwise, I feel like if they start to fall behind in their lanes at all, they're going to get absolutely run over by Vici. And it has to be a D-Stones hero as well. Unless they want to put the Batrider mid, which they could, against the Tiny. And then pick a different 3, potentially.
If they went Batrider mid, would it be worth throwing the Tiny 4 in Rubik 2?
No.
I'm just asking. No. I'm just pulling for
if Vici want to, they could, but okay, that's they're gonna put the Batrider mid and they're gonna put the Tide to deal with the PL. Okay. Unless they put the Tide mid, potentially. But I think you put the Batrider in the better matchup against the Tiny.
Give me core Rubik just so I don't sound stupid.
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'd love for it to be core Rubik. I'm a big Rubik fan. But I don't even think Rubik does well against Batrider either.
Would they even do Bloodseeker mid?
No, I don't think so. Again, I think that does even worse. Yeah. They're gonna put the Tiny mid. Sorry, B-Cop.
I was just hoping. I'm just trying to get the fun Dota to happen. The what everybody wants to see in the chat, the weird Dota.
We didn't get 60-minute items last game, but that was the only thing I was a little bit disappointed about. We had so many sick plays in that game too between us or IG, and I can still find something I'm a little bit sad about. How How depressing.
Never happy. Never happy.
Never
This is
happy.
a typical Twitch chat lurker. Never happy.
Always wanting
Maybe
more.
Always wanting more. Probably says resident sleeper in chat and a 60-minute or 59-minute 30-second game.
Beacop, why did you never listen to me? Twitch chat is full of positive energy. It's literally, whenever I open Twitch chat, it's just love hearts and smiles. There's never anything else. I'm telling you. They're all so amazing people.
All right. I'll believe it when I see it. You know. Can I get a love heart and smiles in the chat? Thank you very much. A little chat interaction right there.
No.
And to go on that, type in 1 if you think Vici's going to win. Type in 2 if you think SAG is going to win. And again, type in 3 if you'd like to see Energy Pacemaker as a roster again. Because I know we all do.
Still. Jesus.
That or a Hyper Glory team, please. Maybe Braveheart, somebody, please. I mean, I think Vici are going to win.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it looks like a really good PL game to me. I think it's going to hit a critical point in the game. And I think, again, I'm still going to go with the thing. I think they just rupture up the Batrider every fight. Maybe even the Monkey King if they think they can get away with it. But
prepare for battle.
Their laning stage looks decent, though, on SAG, I will say. If they can get ahead in their lanes early on, they have really good catch. Like, they have the Nyx Assassin that can give information for the Batrider and the Monkey King to make plays on the map.
The question becomes, how well is D-Stone's going to play on this Batrider? I don't think I've ever seen him play this hero.
Can you look
Not
up
that
on his...
means anything.
Actually, I'll look up on his profile to see if he's played it before. There's not going to be a huge amount going on in this early stage, I imagine. Maybe like a trading of blows of right clicks, but...
Nothing so far. He's just dancing on his disco ball anyway. So we're not missing much. He has not played this Batrider in a pro game.
Ever?
From what it says, I mean, this could be a different profile, but he has only played 53 heroes in pro games.
You're right. Batrider's not one of them. Not from what I can see.
The battle begins.
I'm sure this is something he's played in pubs, though. Like, Batrider mid has been, around for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So it might be the first time he's played it in officials, but I'm sure he's played it quite a lot before.
It's definitely an interesting hero pool. Not a Meepo player. No Nature's Prophet mid in pro games.
So he's not a Meepo player, so he's not a Psycho. Got it. Okay. And we haven't seen that hero in ages as well. That hero feels really sad to play at the moment.
Who?
Meepo.
Oh, yeah. It just doesn't feel like it has that oomph anymore.
Oh, you're using my key language now. I see.
Oh, yeah. Well, I try. I learn from the middle of the pack. I was going to use the line, learn from the best, but... No, I learn from the best. And that's you.
Uh-huh.
Oh. No. I'm interested to see how Flyby does play on this Tidehunter.
I'll be honest, I'm just kind of watching this mid matchup right now because Ori usually has a really strong laning stage, but this is a tough lane for him. Like, it doesn't get much harder than this, I don't think. When Batrider gets to like level 3, level 4, things get really difficult.
Where can you go as a Tiny?
What do you mean? Like, what rotations can you make, or...?
Like, we see Magnus, he gets pushed out of lane, goes to the jungle. Like, does Tiny have that same opportunity?
Not really. I mean, Tiny, if he gets bullied out of his lane, tends to make rotations and try and make, kills happen instead.
Mm-hmm.
So... Lady stage going decently for the SAG so far, though. Like, I mean, Tiny's doing well in these early levels, which I feel like, he can trade farm in.
Mm.
But Monkey can have a good time bot as well.
Meanwhile, I've noticed that Flyby has changed his name back to Flyby. Because...
it was Flywin before,
It was Flywin.
Yeah.
Spike Carapace, DUI. getting pushed back. Just for a second, not really doing all too much, but September will have the stun in just a moment. He just doesn't have the mana for it. This courier coming over with the Wraith Band for Erica.
Kane is starting to push towards this Bloodseeker Rubik in the bot lane, though. So he's like, they're doing okay. Like, he's not having an amazing time with this Bloodseeker, but it's going to hit the point where he can really start to, you know, try and put the pressure down when he gets like that level 3, level 4 bot. We also something we didn't talk about with this Monkey Kicking pick.
Primal Spring. Trying to go on an old 11. Sorry.
That's fine. I was just gonna say, yeah, something we didn't talk about with this Monkey Kicking pick. Oh my god. Okay. And there you go. D-Stones gets the first blood, dies in return, but Ori doesn't get the XP. So. Now all of a sudden, if you look at the XP difference between the Bat Rider and the Tiny,
has been killed.
he is very far ahead.
And what is he able to do? Can he come back to lane? Does he just have to come back to lane?
Yeah, he has to for now. Like, but we're saying like the lane is tough. They just have to accept it. But this Tiny hero isn't just about the laning stage. It's all about making the right rotations afterwards.
Does not feel comfortable for Ori. And this is probably the most uncomfortable in this position we've ever seen him.
Yeah, I was also really surprised he didn't take Toss at level 3 and go 1-1-1. He actually put a second point in Avalanche instead, so you can't throw the Bat Rider away back to his creeps or anything. Now Ori in trouble here.
They're going to chase. They also have September coming over.
D-Stones
tossed in the air, and all of a sudden, can't commit.
He's dead.
Wow. Look at these rotations coming in from Vici. They've also locked up September inside the Cogs by Carapace, but the Cogs push him away. They've got the Avalanche.
Oh,
and the kill onto September. Wow.
What an absolute disaster, because that big lead that the Bat Rider built in terms of XP before is now going to start to get cut down.
That's what's necessary from Vici to come over and just make sure that Tiny doesn't die back-to-back times and the Bat Rider just takes over the lane. It works out so much in their favor because they also get the +1.
Not so
And now Tiny has his bottle as well just before the 5-minute mark, so where he had that really rough start, again, a little bit better.
So all of a sudden things get easier. He can use that bottle, sustain in lane, move back, get a bounty rune. So if we were talking about things that seemed rough for Ori, but at the end of the day, he's A-okay. Jay trying to fight this, but now he's hit with the telekinesis. They throw their blood right in the wrong area. Balance Strike hits some creeps with the Jingu proc.
Yeah, they...
Fable, old 11, still thinking about going under the tower, and Mischief's not going to save ya. DUI comes in, XCJ, they're going to go for more. Blood right down, Battery Assault with the Cogs. They've locked up the Ogre, and they'll get themselves a +1. DUI, he survives even though he's under the tower. D-Stones, though, gets another kill on Ori with the rotation over from September.
Yeah, really well played. I mean, the Tide doesn't need any help up in this top lane against the PL. Like, he's absolutely fine here. So this is going to free up the next assassin to try to like make these rotations towards mid and bot lane. D-Stones has a DD now. He's hit level 6 as well. So when Ori TP's back in here, he is definitely not safe. He's got D-Stones is going to TP towards the bot lane here though.
Old 11.
It might be a little bit too late though.
And now that puts him out of lane and allows Ori to kind of go up against this Nyx.
That's not good.
Meteor Hammer first item for Flyby.
Offlaners and Meteor Hammers.
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing you build when you know you can pressure the tier 1. It was the same as JT on the Axe last game. But you can't, your hero can't really pressure the tower, but you know you should be able to, like, within your position in the game. I also think this item's so good at the moment. Like, just with the stats it gives and everything. Remember, they nerfed drums from +6 all stats to +4. So now the Meteor Hammer's +8 in comparison, right? HP regen, good mana regen.
Is it still the Spectre item?
I was expecting it to come back on Spectre potentially. Because I think this item's still, pretty good.
They're actually moving over towards the top lane.
Okay.
YW coming over. Ravage! And the stun with the Meteor Hammer. Do they have the damage? No. So now they've used the Ravage. They've used the stun of the Impale. Avalanche Toss comes in September and Flyby looking like they're both going to die. And they pop Ravage for this.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to remember, it's not even just that they missed a kill. It's they even give it to the PL. It's the fact that they've used Ravage there and not got anything for it. And that's the first big Ravage, like, reveal. And that's the one that you always feel like they should be getting a kill from.
Flame break on the GY.
Good lane.
D-Stone's going in onto the Clockwork. 6 stacks of sticky napalm. Burns him out. But they've got the rupture, and now D-Stones has to try and leave, but they've got the Blood Right. He moves around, he just dies. Nothing he can do.
And this is what I mean with the Bat Rider against the Bloodseeker. You're going to see this every fight. Bat Rider's a hero that requires mobility to be useful. Unfortunately, Bloodseeker completely destroys that option.
Mm-hmm. Now that he's got level 6, is this like... Okay, so he's going Rod of Atos again, so we're seeing a change from Veil to Rod of Atos for Bloodseekers.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like it this game. I understood it more before, because they were against like this Void Sprint and stuff, right? So Atos goes up in value. Mm-hmm. But this game, yeah, not quite as good. It's still okay, but I mean, it's never going to be bad, is it, on the Bloodseeker?
Doppelganger once again. Oh, is Erica trying to... Oh my god. He tried to play them, but he didn't play them well enough.
He's still not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead, but eventually he'll fall. They'll get the kill onto the Tidehunter in return. Wow.
Yeah, okay, I'm just going to let this finish off first here. Hang on.
Flame Break. Avalanche with the Fable and the Toss. They get the kill into D-Stone. Stunned on onto Old 11. September comes over, lands the Impel. Tower hitting away, but they don't get the kill onto the Bloodseeker. Tower just doesn't do the damage, and Old 11 survives. So all they lose is Erica, but still, you know, a big one.
Okay, so if you guys in chat aren't really sure how this necessarily works, when you're playing up against PL, if you... This is learning with Mo, by the way. If you hold his port... You know when you hold a portrait in of somebody and it, like, centers the hero? If you do that on PL just before he doppelgangers, and then hold onto the portrait, by the time he comes out of doppelganger again, you'll see which one is the real one still.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nyx.
Blood Right. Spike Carapace locks up Old 11. They've got the silence. Now the turn. Here comes Flyby. Has Ravage thought about it? But Flame Break instead. D-Stone's coming over, and they'll get the kill. Finishes off the Rod of Atos, though.
Yeah, but I mean, PL just TP spot. Gets the tier 1 tower. And again, like, look at the net worths in this game. This PL is just... He's absolutely fine, right? And this Tiny, who had the really hard start to the game, is 6, 2, and 3. He's taken part in 9 of the 11 kills for Vici in 10.5 minutes.
Structures are fortified.
Who cares about the laning stage when you're playing this hero? You just run around and kill people.
Tower is under attack.
Bloodseeker TPing top.
Yeah, uses that rupture out on a flyby. They'll take the tower. DY comes in. Blood Right down. Uri's here. He's got the toss as well as the avalanche. Ravage comes in, but okay, I don't understand using Ravage there.
Sure. Okay.
Am I crazy to think that that's...
I think he thought the rest of his team was within more touching distance than they were. Carapace on the Bloodseeker maybe here.
Yeah, on the Blood Right. Jay's still looking to go, but that's the Spike Carapace. There's your like initiation. But they've got the Vendetta, Primal Spring, Hookshot comes out, but Ori, he ends up surviving. They get the kill to Jay. They'll take out September, so both heroes die. Now they'll focus their attention on an XCJ. But he's able to walk away from Old 11, and again, this is SAG just looking sloppy.
Yeah, and this Bat Rider isn't even going BOTs first. He's going Blink. And he doesn't have it yet. 12 minutes into the game, that's a big worry. They're going to try and look for PL here, but, I mean, yeah, Erica's just going to TP away.
Did he get the double stack on that? No. Oh, wait. Yes, he did. Old 11. It gets the timing right with the Rod of Atos to double stack there. That was really cool.
They're just 4K net worth behind already, by the way, on SAG. Again, it's just inefficiency, like some silly rotations around the map potentially. I think Tiny's deceptively hard to kill if you don't have good physical damage early on. Because you look at his HP bar and you're like, oh yeah, that should be okay. But you forget how much like raw strength he has. It's like 3.8 strength gain per level.
PL now sitting top of the net worth. Smoke play from SAG. The problem is if they don't play this right and they end up biting it on this smoke play, it just puts them even further behind and they're dropping behind quickly.
Yeah, and at the moment it feels like they can only play around when they have Ravage right now. You know, maybe now that they have Blink Lesser, they can play around that as well. But Batrider and Nyx don't necessarily have the damage between them to be able to kill somebody quickly enough before the rest of Vici can respond.
Do it with flair.
They see XCJ on the high ground there.
Dire's
They see the Batrider under the Sentry Ward as well.
Yeah, they do. Bloodright with the Rotamatos and the Rupture. All he can do is try and run. Avalanche hits, they'll throw the trees onto the high ground using that bottle. Meanwhile, they've got the cogs around Flyby. They're killing a D-Stones. They look over as DY starts to run from Flyby September and XCJ.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And the Batrider thinks he's safe because he's playing around this Observer Ward on the high ground, but you see where they put their Sentry on Vici, right? Like they're protecting themselves from a lane ward potential, but it means that they see this Batrider coming in invis. The D-Stone's really struggling to find these openings. Pretty far behind in terms of net worth now compared to the other cores. And look at how far PYW is on the Rubik. We've seen some great Rubik performances today, but I'd always say he's one of my favourites.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with a performance like Bobica's.
Yes. I think my favourites would probably be FY, Fade, and PYW. What's Fade doing at the moment, actually?
Pretty sure he doesn't have a team.
Ooh. That surprises me. Is he the new position 1 for 4 AM?
Well, rumor has it that they've now got Eurus again. Who really knows? Bottom lane. Toss on a September. Impel. That'll miss. They've got the battery assault around him. Drop down a sentry under the tower. They'll get the kill on a September. And Ori all of a sudden, who had this rough start, is now 7-2-7.
Yeah, I mean, Ori's running riot this game.
That should
Having a great time.
$5K lead. And Rotavatos again with the Bloodright down. It's just really, it feels like there's not much that they can do on the side of SAG.
But again, it feels like the other series we saw from them where they struggled to find these openings on the map, and then eventually they fall further and further behind, and then they lose the game. Like, it's been happening every single time.
Onto the Rubik, trying to cliff him, they do. He steals the sticky napalm. Can PYW survive? He'll fall first. And they've cliffed the Nyx. Windbreak hits on Old 11. They've got the stun to follow it up. Doppelganger running away as Erica. DY throws down the cogs. They've got the stun on the D-Stones. They won't go in on this 4v5.
I'm pretty sure that was just a Centaur creep.
Or he's just bottom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just a Centaur creep that ran out from the camp there just above. And like, but they see D-Stones under this Observer Ward here, and he's just stuck on the high ground. They have Ravage still, but you see this PL with Diffusal. It's just starting to chip away at the Tide's mana here.
Right down, tier 1. Hook shot coming through, and they're gotten around XCJ. Erica goes into the cogs. They'll get the kill on Ogre. Now look for more. Rotavatos sits on a D-Stones. Bloodright to follow it up, as well as the telekinesis. Wukong's command not coming through because the silence hits. Now the Ravage comes out, and the stolen Ravage from PYW throws it right back, stuns up the Monkey King as well as the Tide. Avalanche toss on a J. They get the kill on the Monkey King. They look over at Flyby. Cogs pushing back into the side of Vici, and everybody dies on SAG except for September.
I was going to say,
they
hello,
spot him. They've got the sentry.
Spectator.
Oh gosh, Avalanche toss, down he goes.
Now they all died.
Everybody's dead.
That whole fight, I cannot believe they stuck around there on SAG. Because that whole fight, Nyx was still just stuck on the high ground before. He had like 10 seconds left on his TP last time I looked, but... My god, that was... You know, in like the old... I don't know, I can't remember what era it was, but like... Where they had the arenas and stuff in like Roman things. So Roman times, I assume. Where you had like all the people in the like... On the stands above, just watching the fights. That was Nyx last fight. Just on that little high ground. Just enjoying himself. Watching his whole team die.
Erica comes out and he's just like, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah. Oh, I got that one. Nice.
Gets a reference for once.
Got a film reference.
So proud.
It doesn't happen very often, so make the most of it.
Chat enjoy.
Oh, this Tiny has Nether Shawl now as well, by the way. So when that comes out, yeah. Look, like there's hardly any physical damage on this Radiant team apart from like Monkey King.
Hook shot coming through, and that's onto the Monkey King. They've got the cogs pushing back XCJ, but this is a little dangerous for the Clockwork. 4 heroes here. He's taking their attention, and he'll end up going down.
But again, like they're committing 4 heroes for a DY Clockwork kill. Is that really worth it? In the time they killed the clock, they've probably fallen further behind than where they were before.
Diffusal, Dust, September, Telekinesis, and the kill. Erica getting another one, and they stole Vendetta. God, POW's on it.
And we have to remember there's the break on Vendetta as well against the Tidehunter if they can get away with it. So
he's probably going to be the focus.
You would imagine so, yeah. If they can keep this Vendetta, try and kill him off quickly before that Ravage comes out.
You'd think that they should be able to get the kill.
Dire's
Even
middle
with
tower
Ravage
has
available,
been
because you just
denied.
go to the break, Telekinesis, and I feel like immediately you're just doing work.
My problem with this SAG draft is... Oh, hang on. He lasso the
Lasso.
Tiny. Get him on the high ground.
Once
Nice.
again, and now they've got the Sun to follow it up. There's the Impale, so they're right on top of Ori, and I think Vici are going to let him go down. It's just a question of when.
But again, you see, it's the same thing. They have to have 4 heroes there to pick off a 1.
Ooh. Looking for that hook shot.
Unfortunate.
Just can't find it. Really close though. Erica continuing to farm away, and September coming over with flyby. They just won't catch the vision on this Phantom Lancer just yet.
Biao hasn't died. The only time he died this game was up in that top lane when he was trying to make the juke trick before.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you know, nothing's happened to it the whole game. I'd really like to see him go Skadi as well instead of Heart this game. The Heart's really good at allowing him to dip in and out of fights and things. Like, especially against like all this poke damage from like Batrider and Monkey King and stuff. But I feel like the Skadi gonna be super useful against this Monkey King. And it still makes you tanky.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they have just a 10k lead casually. Ooh, Cogs. Lane break pushes him out of the Cogs, but he's got the hook shot to get away. Hooks all the way to old 11.
And again, they just struggle to find these openings, even on the
Radiant's
DY
bottom
Clockwork
tower
here.
is under attack.
In the meanwhile, or he's taking bot tier 2. They lose every single trade, it feels like.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I think sometimes they're really not even trading.
No, they're not.
They just lose points on the map.
Okay, so let's talk about good things for SAG though. You know, let's not focus too much on the bad. Is that fair?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Let's just keep flaming them then.
Well, it's not even.
No, it's not. It's not flame.
Yeah.
It's just we're just stating it how it is. You know. Like,
I mean, the Carapace and now the Lasso. They're gonna go for this Bloodseeker. Can they even get old 11? The Lotus Orb is on him, and finally they'll try to finish him off. He lasts quite a long time. Nobody really coming over from the side of Vici, so they give up the life of old 11. And that's it.
but look at them again. They're like 4 or 5 heroes just in the same part of the map still. Like bot lane starting to push in. Tiny's farming mid. And if they can start hitting this tier 2 top, it's fine.
Radiant's
Blink,
top
Flame Break,
tower
stolen
is
Spike
under
Carapace though from PYW. That'll set up the hook shot and the cogs around 2. They've gotten the multicast out onto the Clockwork. Here comes Erica. They've stolen the Impale. They'll throw it right back. That hits the Batrider as well as the Ogre, but now they know they can't steal the Ravage, so he blows it onto Erica. They get the kill on the DY. They'll take out the Clockwork. 2 heroes down on the side of Vici. Flame Break pushes Erica as well as the Rubik back. They get the kill on the D-Stones, but they lose Erica. Down goes PYW. Avalanche toss. XCJ follows suit and falls down. Trying to TP out, or he can't do anything about it. Oh, Rod of Atos just a little bit late.
Yeah, really well played there by SAG though. They finally managed to find a fight where they use this Ravage effectively, right? And they managed to kill the PL, which is the biggest one on the map.
Yep.
So, yeah, really well played. I still feel like I would have liked to have seen him go Scardy, but he's going for this heart. I think when he gets that, he's going to be so much harder to kill. But, yeah. Tiny not there for the whole of like that fight and right until the end. It was, main reason why it goes so hard for Vici though.
Mm-hmm.
They need his burst potential to kill off like this Nyx assassin and stuff. He's just contributing so much in these fights with the constant like pokes with the mana burns, impales, spike carapaces. Like this blood secret. Oh, you go.
for it.
You go.
I was gonna say, it looks like things are going right for Vici at times, but it doesn't feel like they're fully committing at some of these moments. Like DY goes in, and then it's just a late follow-up from the rest of the team.
And you have to remember while that whole fight was going on, the Monkey King was just AFK farming. So like he has his axe now. He's pretty farmed. Like he's doing really well. But I still don't see it being enough like damage that they can deal with this PO.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least if it's a 5-on-5, they need to like blow Ravage, get like a follow-up Impale. And even then, when he gets his heart, I still don't know if it's going to be enough at that point.
Radiant's top
Erica
tower
maintaining
is under
his
attack.
farm, going Ags after the heart.
That's interesting. It's a different build. So obviously the axe on the PL is the permanent Phantom Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be really strong. But it's not something I see a huge amount of. I've seen RTC do it a couple of times. But yeah. Nice smoke break there by the Monkey King though. With, just standing up in the trees.
Radiant are scanning.
Atos, Rupture. Avalanche as well as the toss, Spike Carapace. They've got the blood right down. They get the silence out of the Nyx assassin. They look over to
3
try and
seconds
kill
to
the Tide,
Ravage.
who really can't do anything except stand there, but he's surviving. Lasso on to Ori. They get the kill onto the Tide, and Tiny.
Stolen Wukongs.
Oh, look at the Wukongs, but immediately hit out of it with the Flame Break. So Flyby eventually falls. They look over at Erica. Hookshot comes in. Doppelganger's away. So DY, he's on the run. Old 11 in the trees. They've got the cogs down, which is really disrupting SAG to move forward, but they've got the Spike Carapace that hits onto the Clockwork. Blood right. Rod of Atos, silence on the Monkey King. DY still running. He ends up dead. They go after Old 11, and they're going to try and finish him off. They don't actually have the mana to throw out a stun. He's got the Lotus Orb on him, but the Balance Strike hits from a distance, and they finish off the Bloodseeker. And SAG starting to pull back.
I think Vici Gaming thought they had more damage than they did there. They rupture the Tide, they toss him back. They know he doesn't have Ravage still. But they win a fight there massively on SAG without using Ravage. Just because Vici overstepped their mark a little bit. This is my problem with... Okay, PL's got S and Y as well, which is interesting, but... I feel like they lack raw damage themselves now, right? Like, they have decent burst from, like, Rupture and the toss combo with, the Avalanche toss on the Tiny and things as well. But until this PL builds, like, his own damage item, you could see how long it took them to kill the Tide there. And that was with, like, every spell. Now D-Stones has BKB as well. So game definitely Vici favored still, but at the same time, like most of that net worth difference is in the supports.
Yeah.
So the cores on SAG aren't too far behind
Dire's
now.
top tower is under attack. Dire's structures
lead.
are fortified.
That seems to be dwindling.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
With the net worth lead being in the supports, like Ogre doesn't need a lot of farm.
No, not at all. Monkey King's gonna have a BKB and like 1,000 gold as well.
Stolen Wukongs again from PYW. There's the Rod of Atos. Hookshot comes through, and can they get the kill in September? He's silenced up. Avalanche toss onto the Batrider. BKB gets popped. They've got the lasso on Ori. Ravage from Flyby. Won't be dead just yet. Clockwork low. He ends up falling first. DY hits the deck as Jay gets the kill. They've got the toss back on Flyby. They've blown everything already on the side of SAG. The question is, can Vici follow up and get anything from this as they try to exit? They get the kill on XCJ. Telekinesis out into the Nyx Assassin. They'll find themselves a second in September. Primal Spring on to the fight, but it's not going to be enough. D-Stones, he falls 3 O's down on the side of SAG. They go for the Monkey King. He's trying to fight Erica in this. I don't think that's the right way to go about this. The stolen Primal Spring in from PYW, but it's still not enough damage. They get that kill onto the Rubik. They'll take it a second on the side of Vici, but they end up losing their Monkey King, and now Flyby, he'll be focused. The question is, do they lose anything else on Vici? A couple heroes low. Anchor Smash. Old 11 backs off for a second. He does die. But then afterwards, Flyby finally falls, a full team wipe for Vici.
Yeah, okay, so initially there, Tiny goes in with the Blink Avalanche Toss combo, and they instantly blow Lasso on him straight after he's used his spells, and he has BKB going, and they use the Ravage at the same time as well. Erica, Poyoya, in the back line, is just instantly, like, just avoiding everything, right? Like, there's nothing that the PL can do there. So the PL just waits for all the spells to get used. As soon as the Ravage gets blown, PL enters back into the fight. And now he has that heart, he's so tanky. Like, insanely tanky and hard to deal with. So you saw, even when he was on like 400 HP there at the end, it just doesn't matter, because he knows the Tide doesn't have any damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, tell that to Old 11.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Rubik going Ags, by the way. Very close to it.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's really nice to try and steal Ravage with, because obviously the cast range on the spell still goes up massively.
That's also where we're seeing that Tide feels comfortable throwing it, is once the spell steal gets used.
I can't wait for Monkey King to steal Wukongs and have the little Rubik spawn next to him all the time. It's gonna be sick.
I guess the Ags is off the ult, right? Ori invis, going to the backlines. They got the lasso on the correct one, and they have the Lotus Orb. He's taking a lot of damage, goes to the Doppelganger, gets onto the high ground, still trying to run. They get the kill on a Flyby. The hook shot from DY! Oh boy, going through the entire side of SAG. They have the dust. So now Spike Carapace used by September. G-Stone's low, stolen lasso, locks up the Monkey King. XCJ drops. That's 3 heroes down to the side of SAG, and they'll focus their attention on the Monkey King. They'll get themselves a 4th, and they'll look over at September. September, he kills off PYW, but there's a lot of Atos as well as the Blood Right. They've got the silence and the damage to get the kill on another team wipe for the side of Vici over SAG.
Wow. I mean, they tried so hard to kill that PL at the beginning of the fight, and he escapes on like 500 HP again. And then all of a sudden, the heart regen starts to kick in. You know, the rest of Vici starts showing up.
Radiant's
If they kill the PL there straight away, like at least if the fight goes badly, they can say they got like something out of it, right? This is the problem with the heart. He just backs off a little bit, starts to come back into the fight again. All of a sudden, he's back at full HP again, ready to start pushing towers.
Yeah, and look how quickly they fall with each flop from the Tiny.
And he can just get Blood Raged by the Bloodseeker as well for the extra attack speed. The heart regen offsets the damage he's taking from it.
Gem picked up by DY. Tome of Knowledge to try and push Phantom Lancer into the level 25.
He's almost there now. And they struggle to deal with illusions normally, never mind when Doppelganger's on what, like a 6-second cooldown I think it goes to? Yeah.
Backing off of Roche. Full smoke from SAG. Rubik with the axe.
Incoming!
And here G-Stones goes. Blink, lasso, ravage, everything coming out immediately. Will steal the lasso off of him, but, well, DY and Old 11, they fall very quickly.
Okay, he has Axe on Rubik and he has Lasso. This is a big deal. Because even though they've lost the Bloodseeker, DY has buyback, and they have the Lasso potential to hit 2 heroes. And he has Blink on PYW. So he's basically an upgraded Batrider ult right now. It was a good initiation, though, by SAG, has to be said.
Yeah,
They do find their opening really well there, which is what they've struggled to do a lot in their series so far this tournament.
just cost them everything.
Yes. What did it cost you?
Everything.
Everything.
I got that reference.
I cannot wait to see. I really hope PYW doesn't die before he gets to use this.
Or steal something else.
Because if he catches, like, the Monkey King +1, for example, that's a massive deal.
They don't have Ravage, too, so it'll be hard to stop the control. Avalanche toss. They've got the silence. Yules himself, Spike Carapace. Okay. So now looking for the lasso opportunity. They get the kill into September. PYW pops the Essence Ring. Setting up and looking. He's got that Blink Dagger on cooldown for another 3 seconds. They're right by in the trees.
They have vision, either of them.
Radiant's middle
Doesn't look like they
barracks are
do.
under attack.
Okay, Radiant have vision on their high ground just below.
Blink, lasso that actually hits onto the Rubik with the BKB pop by D-Stones. Now they've got the Wukong's command as well as the Balance Strike. They get the kill on the PYW, so there goes the chances of the double lasso. Now they find Erica, but BKB, that gets popped. Impale comes through. They aren't getting this PL low enough just yet, and now Flyby taking a lot of damage. They focus their attention on the DY who just bought back, so he's going to be dead for 76 seconds without buyback. Blood right down, D-Stones and Flyby trying to run. BKB gets popped by Ori. They've got the toss out of D-Stone, so they get the kill into the Bat Rider. He doesn't have buyback either. Ori right on top of Flyby. The chase is on. But Erica, what can he do? Can they keep going? Doesn't look like it.
So I think Erica's getting all this heart regen coming back in again here. So now, you know, they have Ravage, so you have to be wary, but I mean, this PL's really strong.
Is under attack.
Radabatos with the toss. Blood Right doesn't land, but they've got the Blood Right Spike Carapace. Ravage in too deep. Some 41 style. And the Balance Strike comes in. They'll get the kill on the old 11. Now they look over at Erica. They'll look to finish off the Phantom Lancer who's trying to survive.
Doppelganger up. Has the 25 talent.
Doppelganger doesn't have the mana.
Oh, he doesn't.
So he is in trouble. He is controlled and he is killed. 100 seconds, no buyback.
He took the crit talent on PL.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay. Sure.
Wouldn't have had the mana regardless.
And I guess that might have been part of his thinking. That maybe he had the mana to be able to, like, constantly use this doppelganger like normal games. Because this Nyx is just constantly focusing him with the mana burn. And now I say just head into the Roche Pit. And without these, two heroes having buyback, it's easy peasy. See DY here. Oh, he's going to be too late. He tried to shift Q the hook shot, but he's probably going to die for it now.
Focus their attention onto DY.
D-Stones.
D-Stones dying to PYW and Ori.
Okay. I'm not really sure why he's there. I know he's trying to push the lane out, I guess, but that's a really, silly death because there's no need for it at all. Also, before, this Tiny was basically like a Blink Avatos combo, right? But he hurts now. With the Silver Edge and the crit as well, he almost has the Daedalus finished. His damage output is getting really high. And I'd love to see him go for this axe next as well. If Monkey King is sitting on a tree, and then Ori gets tree volley and throws trees at people, can the Monkey King get thrown at his own team and kill them? Beacon, I'm asking the important questions.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Maybe? Give you the middle ground answer there.
Stand in my way.
At least I'll try to give the middle ground answer that way.
Thanks for not putting me down. That was nice.
Are they getting ready? Yeah, looks like a smoke,
Radiant's
right?
bottom
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
Look at them holding their high ground position here.
Radiant
Vici.
are scanning.
Yeah,
got the
fighting into
scam,
an
though.
Aegis though.
Hookshot misses from DY. They've got the Lotus Orb as well as the Lasso, so that's going to keep D-Stones right close, but he pops the BKB, so does Ori. The Rupture comes out, and now the damage on the D-Stones. He needs to be careful. He ends up dying. Ravage comes in.
And they'll find their attention on an old 11. They get the kill into the Bloodseeker. He's dead for 85 seconds without buyback. Now Cogs, who pushes back XCJ. They'll take out the Ogre. They'll take out the Nyx. 3 heroes gone for the Wukong's command, but is it going to be enough? And fighting Erica. The last one to out! Oh, perfect from PYW. They'll get the kill, and now the stolen Wukongs. PYW ends up stealing the Anchor Smash. He's going off with this Axe. They've got the toss into the air, and they'll take out this Monkey King.
Really well played by PYW, but again, at the same time, that initiation by Tiny, he instantly gets the Batrider and the Tidehunter to like half HP with his initial like thwacks of the tree and the combo. Now he's level 25, so he has the 3 toss charges. You saw when Monkey King came out of the Aegis there. It's instantly chain stand up in the air. And now without Monkey King buyback, I think this is going to be either the end of the game or another set of racks. Like, you have to remember, Tide doesn't have Ravage for 90 seconds here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So he's basically a glorified melee creep.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Go for the bottom set of racks.
Radiant's
Picked
bottom
up for
barracks
Erica.
has fallen.
What did
Radiant's
PYW
bottom
just get
barracks
there?
has
Ah,
fallen.
dust. They have the tier 1 still standing top, so unless they wanted to go tier 4s, it's not over just yet. Still 30 seconds without the Monkey King. They've got the telekinesis, 4 staff
Break
back,
on the
but is it going to be
ties.
enough? They've got the break, they've got the damage, they'll get the kill. He's dead for 90 seconds with the hook shot coming in from DY. Link, BKB, Lasso, Stolen Ignite, but that's not going to matter all too much. They get the kill into DY, they take out XCJ. He's dead with buyback.
But without Tide, they missed their big team fight skill they've been playing around all game in the Ravage.
Radiant's middle tower is
That being
under
said, it was
Questions,
down
dude?
for another 40 seconds.
The question is, do Vici show them respect here, or do they feel like with the Tide that they can really push forward and go for the win here?
Download strike, impale, Erica. Rupture comes in, and now the Monkey King in some trouble. He's the one who gets ruptured, thrown out the Wukongs once again. And they've used the Lotus Orb. That'll throw back everything that they're throwing onto the Phantom Lancer. But now they look over at T-Stones. They get the kill onto the Batrider. He's dead for 70 seconds. He does have buyback. Is he going to be forced to use it? Most likely if Vici stay. And it looks like with the creep wave, that's exactly what they want to do. Got the Blood Oath on the tier 4 tower.
under attack.
And T-Stone's still holding it.
Radiant's
Stealing the impale.
Oh, God. Batrider has BKB in 5 seconds. I think that's what he's waiting for here before he looks to commit.
Radiant's middle
Impale hits both the Monkey King and the Ogre, so that means Monkey King's dead. Buyback's a little bit late. He's got the BKB finally, but they get the kill into September, and they'll just call GG. After all is said and done, it's a perfect impale from PYW that seals their fate.
is under attack. Vici Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, especially how this game started, not a massively clean win for Vici. But they win nonetheless, right? I don't know. SAG, even though they were really far behind, they took some really good fights still, right? Like, they found some good openings, they found some kills, but they never really looked like they were going to win the game still, right?
Yeah.
Like, at no point in this game, even when they won good fights, like, they had that one where they killed 4 mid, right, where the Tiny wasn't there, and that looks pretty good, but again, it didn't make me feel like they were going to win the game. And I'm still yet to have that feeling at any point when I've been watching an SAG game, which I know might be really harsh to say, but they just don't fill me with the confidence needed to try and push forward for a win.
And even when they take clean wins, you're still wondering to yourself, is that even enough? Like, there was a couple points where SAG took some good fights, but like you said, I still haven't had the confidence that I thought they would, they were going to win. D-Stones, he started all right, but he ends up 7-13 and 16.
Yeah, when they got the Lotus Orbs, that's when he really started to struggle. Because there's one on the Bloodseeker, right? And that's when his game became a little bit harder. But again, there was a couple of times as well where we've talked about it's not an easy Batrider game, though, because you're playing against this Bloodseeker, and he is going to rupture you every fight before you get your lasso off. If you get your lasso off, maybe he uses it on somebody else, but even then, Batrider basically just has to stand there and tank a load of PL damage when he gets ruptured. Because what else does he do? Like, this hero's supposed to be able to escape the fight over cliffs and whatnot with Firefly, re-enter when he wants to. But I think that early death that he had in the mid lane, after he killed the Tiny, and then he died straight away after, I think that was massively impactful for him, because he was doing really well before that. All of a sudden, one death on that mid Batrider in a lane where he should be dominating gets, upsets the tides a little bit.
So we'll see what happens in game 2 if SAG can get the win and keep themselves alive. If not, it's good riddance to them. But we'll see if they can bring him back. Anything can happen. SAG showing some glimpses of hope there, and maybe they can put it all together. So game 2 coming up next. We'll be right back. Stay right there.